I've been out of residency for about 4 years now. I've practiced out in the community and at academic hospitals and in freestanding EDs, and I definitely feel like my residency training prepared me well enough to work in all those environments. But if I could go back and have a chat with myself while I was in residency, there are definitely a few things I would tell that guy. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new here, my name is Masood Mohammed. I'm a board-certified emergency medicine physician, and I create high-yield content for medical students and residents, including advice videos like this one, so be sure to subscribe to receive all of my latest content. Now, that being said, here are 3 tips I would give myself as an EM resident. Tip number 1 would be to ask more questions. Residency is a really interesting time because you get to work with a ton of different physicians and you get so many different perspectives on how people like to practice. Now, sometimes that can be a frustrating thing, especially in emergency medicine. The classic is, do I get the D-dimer or do I just get a CTA of the chest to look for PE, right? But it can also be a really unique opportunity to learn from all of these different perspectives and all of this shared experience. For example, one of my attendings in residency had a lot of expert witness experience and was used to testifying in trial. So he would give us lectures on all of that and really go through our documentation with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that it was medically legal sound. And that is a really unique experience that not a lot of other residencies get. By asking more questions of the attendings that we're working with, we can get a lot of information about different tools that we can use if we're in a resource-depleted area, or alternative therapies we can use to manage a patient. Everyone knows that the difference between a quaternary medical center and a freestanding ED or a critical access hospital can be incredibly different. And you might have attendings that have worked in both of those areas, and it's really awesome to be able to learn from their experiences. And a lot of attendings love to share these experiences and teach this stuff, me included. That's part of why I did a medical education fellowship. I did a whole separate video on that, and I'll be sure to link it right here. Asking more questions can also be really helpful when you're speaking with consultants. One of my favorite lines to use is the "for my learning" line. So when I'm speaking with a consultant, if they say something that's interesting or a recommendation that I don't entirely understand, I'll start by saying, "for my learning," and then I'll ask my question. And that way they're not feeling judged or criticized or like their knowledge is being challenged or anything like that. I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for you to teach me. It's for my learning. And consultants love that. They'll do a little bit of education, and it's also helpful for me to make my practice better. So definitely something that I would do in residency and something that I still do even to this day. Tip number 2 is be glad that you failed at procedures. A lot of people in medicine have that type A personality where we want to be the best and do the best with everything that we do, and procedures are no exception. Especially in emergency medicine, we want to nail every single ultrasound IV, right? But you're not supposed to be perfect in residency. This is a learning time, and this is a great opportunity to have challenges with procedures and make non-life-threatening mistakes so that you can troubleshoot and learn from them. Now, that's not to say that you mess up every single central line or lumbar puncture, but hopefully you do enough of those procedures and see enough of those problems so that when you are on your own and you run into those issues, you know exactly how to manage them. Tip number 3 is to take learning points from every single shift. When I was in residency, one of my attendings would always carry around these little note cards to track their patients, and that's something that I started doing as well. I like to write all of my patients down on a note card and kind of check them off when I've gotten them dispoed if they're admitted or they're discharged. But another thing that I started doing is if I heard something interesting from a consultant or a new medication or a recommendation or something that I wasn't completely familiar with, I would flip that note card over and write down that little tidbit. Then when I would go home, I would look it up and read about it later and kind of reinforce that new concept that I hadn't been familiar with. Spaced repetition like this not only makes you a better doctor, but it also comes in clutch when you're studying for your in-training exam or the ABEM qualifying exam for board certification. By the way, if you are studying for your in-training exam for emergency medicine residency or the ABEM qualifying exam for board certification, I have a whole video series called Emergency Medicine Board Exam, high-yield facts videos. I'll link them right here. Be sure to check them out. They're great for a rapid review of high-yield information right before test day. Emergency medicine is a challenging field, and we're never going to know everything, but I think tips like this would have really helped me and will hopefully help you to appreciate and understand that unique opportunity that you have to learn these things when you're in training. And as a bonus, when you graduate and you are on your own, you can always call your home program and get some quick advice if you're in a tough position. So drop a comment below and let me know the best advice you received when you were in medical school or residency, and of course be sure to subscribe to receive all of my latest videos. I'll see you soon.